Hey, welcome to the channel today. Listen, I want to talk about something that I get quite a few questions on, and it's really about feel versus real. What did Mo feel, and what was he actually doing? That's what we're going to talk about in today's discussion. So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. Years ago, I was frustrated because I lost that. I was confused, I was frustrated, and then I met Mo Norman and learned the single plane swing. And so now I wake up every day and I know I'm going to hit it well, I know I'm going to play well, I know I'm going to have fun. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing. Hey, welcome to the channel today. Listen, if you're kind of new to this, let me back up a minute and talk about what this channel is really all about. And if you're interested in the single plane swing and you know who Mo Norman is, this is the place for you. And I'm going to kind of discuss a little bit today about Mo Norman. And when you watch him, and if you've ever seen him before, Mo Norman is regarded as the best ball striker that's ever played the game. Now, what does that mean? And so we can always debate who the greatest ball strikers were, but if you look at Mo Norman and his golf swing and what he did, and all the great players that talked about him, the Lee Trevinos, the Tiger Woods, the Vijay Singhs, the Ken Venturis, the Ben Hogans, all these guys discussed how great a ball striker Mo was. And of course I knew Mo and I got to know him pretty well and spent a lot of time with him and really analyze and look at his golf swing. And one of the things that was very important to me was not necessarily, hey, look at this great ball striker, but it was actually interpreting what he thought and felt he did versus what he actually did. And there is a major, major difference in what you feel that you do and what you actually do. And that's kind of the discussion I want to have today. And we're going to look at a clip here in a second about Mo talking about how his hands work in the swing. But I want to say a couple things before we get there. The first thing is high-level performers, people like Mo who are great at what they do and have developed this amazing skill and talent, which is Mo's ability to play golf and his ball striking talent. By the time you're asking them and having a discussion about their swing, they're at level 10. They're talking on a level that many people don't understand. So when they think, Mo said things like, I swing like it's on a pendulum, or I have less moving parts, and all these things that he said, I don't take those things for granted. I didn't, but my goal was to interpret those, understand them, and that's why I've done the work that I've done. I've spent time in research labs, biomechanic labs, and it's not that I have only knowledge in Mo swing. I have knowledge in the conventional swing as well. So I'm well versed in what the golf swing is really all about. So the one thing I want to talk about today, actually there's two things, is one, this idea of less moving parts. In actuality, Mo Norman had the same moving parts. In other words, he has a human body, he has hands, he has arms, he has legs, he has feet. He has the same moving parts as anybody who swings a golf club. However, he took those parts and efficiently moved them less. In other words, efficiency is an important word in this. I can take my hand, for example, and if I want to make a motion back and through, I can rotate it, or I can go in a straight line. I can take this arm and I can produce a little bit of rotation in it or a lot of rotation in it. So, in other words, what you see in Mo Norman's golf swing is taking the human body, like it's a machine, and finding a way to efficiently move it as little as possible and produce the most efficient results. But you're still moving the machine. So I want to get that clear as far as when Mo says things like, I have less moving parts. But I also want to talk about this next clip. And I want you to listen to this first, then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Exactly the same spot.
Yeah.
Yep. What's going on with your hands in the swing? I mean, is anything going on, or is these
Not too much. Arms and shoulders more. Hands I don't even know, or wrists, don't even know. No. But arms and shoulders. Watch this. Like, don't even know these are there. Just here to here.
Now, what you saw there was Lauren Rubenstein, a friend of mine and a really good friend of Mo's, talking to him about his golf swing. Lauren was a sports writer. He's a reporter. He writes a lot about golf, and he wrote a lot about Mo. He had a lot of great things to do with Mo when Mo was alive, and he wrote a book called Mo and Me, if you're interested in Lauren's book as well. And what I thought interesting, you know, I'm gonna do a series on this channel about Mo's feel versus real. In that clip, he talks about not using his wrists, and I agree with that feeling. In other words, here's what I understand about what Mo is saying there, and what you should maybe be trying if you're out there working on your single plane swing and you're listening to Mo and you're watching this stuff. One of the things I see a lot of people do is they spend way too much time trying to figure out what the wrists are doing in the swing. How do the wrists work? Now, keep in mind that what Mo is talking about there is that his hands are going from his address position back and down, and he doesn't feel like he's doing anything consciously with his wrist action. I can 100% agree with that. But if you look at the swing, the wrists are changing their angle, right? They're going from here to there. Now, here's where I want to have this discussion. It's really a matter of what's happening consciously and biomechanically. So when you bend your arm, for example, if I said skip a rock, which you know I talk a lot on this channel about the natural movement of the body, but if you skip a rock, you notice that you take the arm back and you bend the arm, and the wrist actually bends back as well. You turn the body, the arm stays bent, the wrist stays flexed, and then you unhinge the wrist. So it's a throwing motion like this. So now my question for you is, when you skip a rock, do you consciously do anything with your wrist? And the answer is no. You basically bend the arm and you skip the rock. So you're basically using this lever, and you're using it non-rotationally. You're not going rotation. You're tilting your body, you're placing your body in a position that makes the arm go back. You rotate forward, and at the right timing, there you go, you release the wrist. So again, you could even say, well, when you skip a rock, you're efficiently moving the hand and the arm, skipping non-rotationally. Yes, your wrist is moving, but are you consciously doing it? The answer is no. And here's where people get into trouble, is you're consciously trying to manipulate wrists. You set up like this, and now you're trying to figure out, should I hinge my early? Should I take it in? Should I wait? You know, all this stuff talking about wrists. Now, I can tell you this, that if you look at the actual timing of a swing, how long it takes to make a swing, and how long it makes to consciously think something and make your body move, you can't keep up with the speed of your body. So this is why all of you have so much difficulty thinking about a swing mechanic or a swing change. So let's just discuss. Mo didn't feel his wrist move. I completely agree and feel the same thing Mo felt. But I will say that, how do you produce the Mo Norman motion of the hands? And here's what it comes down to. And if you watch the instruction that I give in this channel, everything relates. For example, I teach a model based on Mo's address position, then backswing, downswing, through swing, finish. The whole entire swing is a model. So it's like you can't just take a chunk of the model and go, okay, I'm just going to take Mo's backswing. I don't really want his address position. And the reason I bring it up that way is because the reason Mo can feel what he does in his hand motion, in other words, he can set up on the single plane, and you can see his lead hand position and his trail hand position. As he takes the club back, he's turning, and his right arm folds, his trail arm folds. Well, when you do that, the hands go into their position. He didn't have to think about it. And it's because this trail hand also is in that non-rotational position. Notice Mo's trail hand is under the club. So he gets in that nice non-rotational position, and then he brings it back down. So he's skipping a rock in a way like this. And again, he's not focusing on, are the wrists hinging or not. Matter of fact, I want you not to think about the wrists at all, just like Mo said. You don't think about the wrists, you move them very little. All you do is you let the right arm fold and the right arm straighten, So you're just going here, right arm folds, right arm straightens. So I'm just skipping rocks. This arm's just going from here across the body and releasing. So again, what Mo felt was exactly right, is that he didn't feel the hands working and he wasn't consciously thinking about the hands. Now I'll add one more element to this. And if I can find a video about Mo talking about this, I'll throw it in here. But what Mo talked about was, I swing like a pendulum. And obviously you know that Mo would do this a lot, I swing like a pendulum. And what you notice in a pendulum, obviously Mo was on a plane, right? There's a plane. So a pendulum, it's like, how does that make sense at all? And the answer is this: a pendulum doesn't have a hinge in it. There's no hinge in a pendulum. It's just simply no hinge, no hinge. So what Mo was interpreting that as, and again, here we go again, this feel versus real thing. Mo is interpreting that as, I'm taking this club that's on this plane and I'm taking it back and taking it down, and I'm not adding any angles that I don't need to it. So again, he's taking that club, setting it on its plane, taking it back and bringing it back down, and it feels like it's moving back and down without manipulation or angle or rotation to it, like a pendulum. And there's another thing that Mo felt in his reality to hitting a golf ball. But I will say this, is that, and I mean, the time that I spent with Mo and all this time since, I've been asked this question quite a few times. And the question is always, what did you know, like, I didn't feel what Mo felt until I practiced it and then videotaped it and got it looked like Mo. So a lot of times I didn't really understand what Mo was talking about until after the fact. So again, it's great to have Mo's feelings. It's great to have his interpretations of it. But I think in that same process, to feel what Mo felt, you got to get in his positions. I guess that's my point. You have to hit Mo's positions. You have to model Mo to feel what Mo felt. That's the best way I can say it, I guess. All right, one more here. Hey, thanks for joining me on the channel today. I'm going to practice a little while. Hit the bell icon, give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you soon.